What is up, everybody? I am Garrett, the Trash Man. You are listening to Trash Talk, and it's Fire Friday.
I love this Fire Friday.
You ready for Fire Friday, dude?
Dude, I've been ready all day for Fire Friday.
You just been itching. We were supposed to do it Thursday. I bailed out on you. We were supposed to do it Friday.
Dude.
I bailed out on you. You guys want to hear a cool story? All right, so Wednesday night, me and my dad hook up and we're like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's go boarding tomorrow. My dad's like, all right, I'll fly down first thing. So I pick him up from the airport. He flies down. I pick him up from the airport. We get to Sunrise. First run, I get to the bottom. I'm like, Dad, what's going on? He's like, no, I'm done. I'll just wait in the lodge. You keep going. I'm like, no, we better go check it out. Your shoulder? He's like, yeah, my shoulder. And he's been having shoulder problems. Dude, we go in there. This shoulder is like 2 inches closer to his neck, and it just popping up like an inch and a half. And I'm like, you, sir, broke your collarbone. And turns out he didn't break his collarbone. He dislocated it. I learned something. That collarbone's not a joint. I didn't think it could be dislocated, but it sits on top of the other bones, and there's just ligaments. So when they say you dislocate it, it means you ripped your ligaments. So he just freaking ripped those ligaments off, and that bone's just floating out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So first run of the day, old Pops took a spill and think.
Ooh.
But we shot for a day off, and we spent the day in the ER. But that had nothing to do with nothing. Tyler's getting a phone call on the phone. Yeah, Larson Waste. We've been busting it today because if you're in the White Mountains, you know that storm rolled in. Mm-hmm. And so we've been busting it. If you happen to be listening, there is one route in Lakeside that we've got about 80 customers that we couldn't get to. We'll be working throughout the weekend for sure on Monday as well. So by the end of Monday, if you're one of those 80 customers up in Lakeside, we should have gotten to you. So
check mark.
Yeah, we'll be working on it. You can count on that. So appreciate everyone's patience with that. We've taken some feedback of how we've handled the past couple of weeks. People have asked for improved communication. We've mostly been using Facebook. What we found is a lot of people don't utilize Facebook or don't see our posts, and or with all the messes of comments and things like that, they just bypass the video. So what we'll be doing, look out on your email. Our tech guy is awesome. He found a way where we can actually utilize our emails and send emails to full routes. So look for emails for us when there's weather like this. We will update you if your route's affected. So Larson Waste just taking care of the hassle when it's just a hassle because of the weather. So
that dang weather.
Yeah, we appreciate them sponsoring this podcast. So, John, I've told a story. I've introduced the podcast. Why don't you fire us up this Friday?
Would fire you up today?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. Well, today my rant is I gotta figure out how I'm gonna put it into words because I know what I want to talk about, but I gotta figure out kind of because I have it more of a question form, but because of some things that have happened this week. One thing that I guess I'll just put it this way. My rant today is if you communicate to someone something, stick to it. Don't be wishy-washy. I've had a couple experiences this week where people have communicated something to us and we've agreed on it and said, okay, cool, that's fine. And then they turn right back around and do something that is completely against what we had come up with.
Yeah. And
it's really hard to make good relationships that can continue long term doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my rant is freaking if you express that you want someone to do something in a relationship you're in, whether it's work, friendship, family, whatever, stick to what you say.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I got something to say to that. And it's that the world moves, just absolutely moves for people that can be counted on. If you go about your life and you're someone that you say you're going to do a thing and it's take it to the bank. People know you'll do that thing. And life happens, things change. You can be counted on to address all parties when that happens. It's incredible how the world moves for you. And it takes work to do that.
Yeah.
Like I've experienced that in my life. Like it takes being alert. You can't just fall asleep. You've always got to be thinking. And sometimes you misbehave, but cleaning it up even when you misbehave, when you weren't able to get out in front of it. I had a thing like that this week where me and a friend, and he's helped me through some stuff. We'd scheduled a call because he was going to give me some advice. He was going to connect me to a banker and an accountant and everything. We had that scheduled, and I was not responsible enough to have put the reminder in my phone. I thought, oh, for sure, it was only a couple hours away. I was like, for sure, I'll remember. And I messed up. I missed the call time. But the work, you can restore your integrity if you'll go to work about it, and not just act like it's not a big deal or anything. I didn't recognize it till about 9 o'clock at night, so I pulled out my phone and I wrote an email to the guy, and I was like, listen, man, I am so sorry. I would not want it to occur for you like that phone call wasn't important to me, because it's very important to me. I really value the time that you're going to give me at that, and I can share the context of what happened if that's valuable for you. If not, just know that wasn't what I intended. And it just restored integrity to it. And like, I just want to say, like, yeah, I love what you're saying, dude, because people that can be counted on, the world will move for them. And most people that can't be counted on, they think that the rest of the world can't be counted on. They're the type of people that walk around like always a victim. Bad things are always happening to them. You know, the person at the store can't do their job right. The waiter can't do their job right. Like, always a headache in their life. And if they'll flip that around and look at their own behavior, well, you heard it yesterday. Very rarely do people look at their own behavior.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Well, and the other thing is I've also understood that a lot of the time, those people have difficulties communicating. Mm-hmm. So they not only have difficulties communicating, but then when they do communicate something, they can't stick to what they communicate either.
And like, all I can tell you, and I don't know what causes it or what, but there's so much power. Like, you get more power as an individual and how you move about the world when you are so when you commit yourself to doing what you say you do.
Yeah. Whether
that means calling a person because you'll be 1 minute late, or whether that means cutting off conversation because you've got a certain time that you've got to be doing something,
which can be really hard at times.
Oh, that's one of the hardest things for me, because generally it's conversation with someone that I want to be in a conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. Yeah, and it's good, and it's like, no, I made an agreement to be here at this time, and I've got to leave right now, and it's sometimes mid-sentence, and it's not easy. So, but I love what you said there, dude. That's awesome. And mine is super short, super sweet, simple. Ooh. Just learn to love work. Like, appreciate it and love it. I had an instant this week where there's a young guy talking about, he works like crazy. And, you can learn to love anything. So if you're a person that naturally doesn't love work, like I do, and me and you had similar upbringings in the way of, like, we had dads that put us to work. Mm-hmm. So it's always just been, like, I can work as long as I need to. Yeah. It doesn't even occur to me to stop working before the job's done because I've been working for a certain amount of time or anything like. But that's just because my dad bred that into me. And if that's not you, know that you can learn that. Yeah. Because that skill is going away. I'm finding it less and less as I hire people, as I interact with certain people. It will be the most valuable thing you have. It's not college. It's not anything like that. 10 years from now, someone that can work 12 hours in a day and not blink an eye will be the most valuable asset. Because absolutely. You can learn whatever you got to learn.
Absolutely.
If you've got to learn to code and that's 12 hours of coding, or if you've got to learn to dig a ditch and it's 12 hours of digging a ditch, the fact that you can keep working is going to be the valuable thing for you. So
absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that.
Oh, my whistle. It's off today. Got my checked lips. There it is. All right, cool. Well, dude, I'm going to shoot out a little preview for next week's podcast, if you're okay with it. I haven't ran it past you.
Okay.
But that Entrecourt call, where you want it.
Yes, that's
So,
good stuff.
Awesome. I want to talk to you next week for next week's podcast.
Okay.
So, to all our listeners, you've probably heard me talk about Encore quite a bit. If you've listened back, I think there's one where you just asked me what my experience was with Encore. So you're probably like, yeah, what is that? Yada, yada. Well, John's just starting to work with Encore and was on a call, was it yesterday? That was super powerful call.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. And it was definitely Encore-esque. And,
Yeah.
And I want to say more, but we'll talk more on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'll have plenty to rant about, believe me.
So, Tuesday we'll drop that podcast where we're talking about what John's thought was with his first kind of live call with Encore. I'll share some of my thoughts, and I think it'll be really good. So, appreciate you guys listening. Give us a 5-star review. If you are a Larson Waste customer, I do have a request for you. Please give us a 5-star review on Facebook as well as on Yelp. Anyone that's a Larson Waste customer, that would mean a ton to me if you would go out and give us a 5-star review on those two platforms specifically, Yelp and Facebook. So appreciate you guys. Keep listening, tell your friends, and have a good weekend. Peace.